Hi, we are going to do this packet is going to have two videos associated with it. The first is going to be for the circumcenter and the circumscribed circle, and the second will be for the incenter and the inscribed circle. Okay, so the directions say construct the circumcenter and circumscribed circle. Sometimes the directions will just say construct the circumscribed circle. You're expected to know that that goes with the circumcenter. You're also expected to know, and the thought that should pop into your head is that circumcenter implies perpendicular bisectors. Okay, so in order to find the circumcenter, the first thing we're going to do is construct the perpendicular bisectors of each of the sides. And if you recall, the way that you construct a perpendicular bisector is either with a big fish or with a double X. And I like to use the double X for this because if you do the big fish, what happens is you end up with everything crossing inside of the triangle, and it can get a little bit messy and you won't, hard to locate your circumcenter. So I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to set it for just over halfway for segment FG. I'm going to reach out. Actually, I'm going to reach up and I'm going to make a mark. And then I'm going to leave the radius as it is. I'm going to move my compass to F and I'm going to make a mark. There's 1x. I'm going to increase the size of the radius and I'll make a second mark. Change back to vertex F and make a second mark. Okay, at this point, I take my straight edge, I line up the two intersection points, and I go ahead and I draw my perpendicular bisector. And again, I only need a little bit of it. You don't have to get crazy drawing the line. Let's mark it as the perpendicular bisector. Okay, through the magic of video, you should continue to make the second and third perpendicular bisectors. Also, we should note that our circumcenter should end up inside of our triangle because this is an acute triangle. So the video is going to jump, and then you're going to have all three perpendicular bisectors. Okay, here are the marks for the perpendicular bisector of segment EF, and then here are the marks for the perpendicular bisector of segment EG. So I'm going to take my straight edge, I'm going to draw those in. Now, this is the tough part. When you're drawing three of these, what happens sometimes is you're going to be off a little bit. You know, we're not working with fine-tuned machinery, you guys know I love to say. And so what ends up happening is, once I draw in two of the perpendicular bisectors, I can see an intersection point, okay? And I'm okay with calling that your point of concurrency. Most of the time I will only have you guys draw two, because what happens is when you start to draw the third, and we'll see how I did here, when you start to draw the third, you're going to end up missing the point, usually by a little bit. Mine was okay, not perfect, and then a lot of you will end up completely caught up in trying to get it to match up. So why don't we go with two? If the two look good, we're going to go ahead, and that's our circumcenter where the three perpendicular bisectors are meeting each other. So that circumcenter is equidistant to the vertices. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my red pen to just draw in a vertex, or pardon me, a radius. So from this point, I'm going to go out here to E. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish the circumscribed circle by just setting my compass to this distance from circumcenter to vertex. And then I'm going to try to see how I did here with my circumscribed circle. Oh, not too bad. What usually ends up happening is you'll hit 2 of the vertices, and then your third one will be off by a little bit. As long as you're not off by like a 1/4 inch, you're probably okay. Your construction marks will show that you've done the proper construction, and again, your compass probably just moved a little bit. Okay, at the bottom of the page, there is one more triangle for you to construct the circumscribed circle for. So you're following the same directions as at the top of the page. You may want to restart the video and watch it one more time before you try this. Okay, also keep in mind, this is an obtuse triangle, so your circumcenter is going to end up outside of your triangle. So keep that in mind. Also, it's a good idea to try to picture your perpendicular bisectors and where they should be going to give you an idea of where those guys are going to meet. Okay, that's the end of constructing a circumscribed circle. Let's change that title. So both of these should be circle. Sorry about that, confused the words. And we're going to go on to the next video on how to construct the inscribed circle. All right, stay classy.